Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light. You are beautiful, just the way you are. Step into the love. You're illuminated by the glory of God's love. Step into the truth. From within, your abundance overflows. Our love can change one life. One life can change the world. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. I am the light of the world. You are the light of the world. We are the light of the world. So move with me. Step with me. Step into the light. Step into the love. Step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. I am the light of the world. You are the light of the world. We are the light of the world. So move with me. Step with me. Step into the light.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Vida Spiritual Learning Center. I trust you all had a good sing, a great way to start off our time together. I want to begin by wishing everyone happy Mother's Day. Thank you all for joining us. I have a dad joke for Mother's Day. The school teacher gave her second grade class a lesson on the magnet and what it does. And the next day she gave a quiz with this question. My full name has 6 letters. The first letter is M. I pick things up. What am I? And almost half the students answered the question with the word mother. So that's my dad joke for the day. So thank you for indulging me. And as is our practice here, we are all about spiritual learning at Vida Spiritual Learning Center. So you're in the right place to learn something about living your best life, as we say. And that really relates to a kind of spiritual practice. And one of the spiritual practices is affirming our vision and mission. And so I invite you now, if you want, to unmute yourselves, and we will say out loud our vision and mission together. And as I've said before, and I'll say again, your psyche, your mind likes to hear your voice speak spiritual truth. And therefore, by saying something like this out loud together, hearing others, plus hearing your own voice, it digs in a little deeper and transforms a little better, right? So we're going to say it first in English and then in Spanish. So here we go. By valuing and empowering all, we inspire a fulfilling and joyous life. Al valorar y potenciar todo, inspiramos una vida plena y alegre. Well, you sounded good. I hope that and trust that that was of some value to you as we value and empower all. In the next part of our time together today, we are blessed with practitioner Angelica Guzman. And Angelica is going to lead us in some meditation followed by an invocation. And so I invite Angelica to take it away.
Good morning, everyone. At this moment, we're going to sit up and relax and close our eyes, be in an open position, and have our hands up, facing up if we want to, if we feel comfortable. And we're going to take a breath. We're going to breathe in and exhale. And we're going to breathe calmness and being here together, relaxed, ready for some spiritual practice, and exhale. We're going to do it on our own pace, feeling receptive, feeling that we are ready for some nourishment in our spirit. So, after our breathing on this special day, I would like to bring into our mind the power of that love, the love of a mother, that love that we all have if we are physical moms, if we hadn't had the opportunity to be a mom, if we have a pet, if we have a nephew, if we have people that we love and care for, including fathers, including men, including everyone, because we all have inside that little part or the big part, which is love, care, that particle of divine matter, which is love. And we're going to feel inside of us that love, the way that it expresses in each one, the way that we feel it in our heart, the way that we feel it in our body. So at this moment, I would like for you to bring into your mind someone or something that inspires you to have that fire, that ignite of love within your soul, within your heart. Just bringing the spirit of God, the love for God, the love for the universe, the love for creation, the love for Mother Earth. Let that love invade our body and very conscious. Feel it everywhere in your body. Let's see the word of love in our mind and be aware of what it makes me feel in my body. How does it feel to love my own body? How does it feel to love my hands? Can do many things with them. How does it feel to give some love to my legs? That take me everywhere. How does it feel to receive and give love to my stomach that contains all my nutrients, that helps me digest all my food, the nurturing of my body, my brain, my blood? How does it feel at this moment to give some peace and quietness and calmness to my brain? and receive from my brain all the love and letting me think, letting me feel. How does it feel to give love to someone we care? And when give love, we receive it by Allah in different ways, in many ways. How does it feel, that love for the person that brought us into this life? The channel for which God expresses itself. And receive that love and protection from that special person that gave us the gift of life. In some way or another, we all have that feminine, motherly expression to care, to love, to cuddle, to feel that safety, to express the love, the light, the security, the abundance that God expresses it through all of us, and that we receive it in many different ways. Let's open our brain and open our heart to receive all the gifts that God has for us today through that expression of mother, through the expression of a physical mother, to the expression of Mother Nature, the expression of God within us. Let's open up today to feel, to receive that expression of love and to give it to everyone and everything that encounters our life, not only today, but every day. In an expression of receiving, we're going to breathe deeply one more time. And exhale. Remembering that we are one with the Spirit, we are one with the God, we are one with everything that surrounds us. And that through us, God expresses it through us, for us, and by us. We feel the presence, we are aware of the Spirit in every part of our bodies. We are thankful for the opportunity to be here, to feel the love of Mother Earth, to feel the love of God today, and we let it go to the love, knowing that this is the truth of God, my life, the God of God, the life of God. And with all this, we say it, and so it is.
Well, thank you, Angelica. Beautiful to be connected back to that motherly love once again. Very nice. Thank you. All right. Well, good morning, everyone. And let us move into our announcements for the morning. And you are again invited to join Reverend Sunshine for a spiritual remedy. And that is on Mondays at 9 a.m. And that's on Vida SLC Facebook Live. So join her every Monday for that time of spiritual connection. We also want to remind you about CSL's Teen Summer Camp, which is in person this year, which is really great for a whole lot of folks to once again be able to congregate. And that's going to be at the Camp Cedar Ridge in Vernonia, Oregon, July 6th through the 13th. And the cost for that is $525. Registration will be open May 6th through June 6th. And for more information, you can visit csl.org/teencamp. And you can also ask about scholarship opportunities, for we don't want anyone to be turned away because of any financial situation. So do ask about those scholarships, because they are there, they are available. And of course, this morning we like to thank everyone who makes this gathering on Zoom possible, and certainly to our practitioner of the day, Angelica Guzman, who has given us this wonderful meditation and prayer this morning. And we know, as we thank in advance Reverend Kevin for all that he does, and especially this morning for the message that he will bring us. And the ones who keep tabs on what's going on in the Zoom world and in the Facebook world would be our live stream moderators. We thank them this morning for being there and available to those folks who participate in those mediums. And of course, we also recognize our leadership council, because these are the folks who are the kind of the behind the scenes folks that keep this ship running. And we are very grateful for all that they do. And we certainly want to acknowledge our music team, who brings us this wonderful music every Sunday. And to all of you for joining us in this way, because it is for you that we do this. And so we are really grateful to have you with us this morning. So another one of our spiritual practices is the idea of giving as a spiritual practice. And this is, I always think of this as a way to give back to the place where you feel spiritually fed. And if this is that place, there are several ways in which you can share that. You can send your gift to our new address at 1524 East Hellman Street, and that's in Long Beach, 90813. You can also use the bill pay service through your bank. We also have, for your convenience, a donate button in the chat and also on our website. And the newest member of the giving ways is Zelle, and that is that connection that you may have directly from your phone or from your other things that's connected to your bank, and you can send that to the email address vida@vidacsl.org. All right, and as we always do with our giving, we have a saying that we do this giving as a spiritual practice. And my invitation is to unmute and let us say this all together. I'm going to say it in English, and I know Angelica will be there to help us by saying this in Spanish. And so we ask you all to unmute, and let's go. Abundance flows in my life.
I am blessed with prosperity.
I
I give with generosity.
Yes.
Generosidad, sí.
I tithe on faith, belief, and with a consciousness of love.
Y amor.
My gift
Gift
is a
is a
divine circulation through me
A través de mí,
that now
benefits
and grows our spiritual community
espiritual
and
y más
beyond.
allá. Ya,
Right. Very good. All right, let us prepare for our message this morning by singing together in the Spirit.
I'm walking in the Spirit, walking in the Spirit, walking in the Spirit of one God, loving in Spirit, loving in the Spirit, loving in the Spirit, the Spirit of one God, moving in the Spirit. Oh, I'm moving in the Spirit. Oh, the Spirit, the Spirit. Oh, God. Growing in the Spirit. Every day I'm growing in the Spirit. Growing in the Spirit. The Spirit, the Spirit, oh, God. Growing in the Spirit. Growing in the Spirit. Growing in the Spirit. The Spirit of the Spirit of one God. Sing in the Spirit. I lift my voice and sing, yeah. In the Spirit. Oh, I lift my voice and sing, yeah. In the Spirit. Oh, the Spirit. The Spirit. The Spirit. The Spirit. One God. The Spirit. The Spirit. One
Breathing in the Spirit. Hello and welcome to our weekly gathering at Vida Spiritual Learning Center. I'm delighted to be with you today. And as is our tradition, we use the themes that are generated by the Centers for Spiritual Living. And the theme for 2022 is Living Everyday Wonder. And the theme for the month of May is Emotions. And the topic, the title for today is called The Fear Factor. And for those that read as a spiritual practice, the themes also come with books. The book for the entire 2022 year is called Ordinary Wonder by Charlotte Joko Beck. And the book for the month of May is Fear, Essential Wisdom in Getting Through the Storm by Thich Nhat Hanh. Now, I often begin by reminding myself, that we're gathered here today to feel better. At least that's part of why we're here today. And to feel better also means to be better at feeling. Now, you might be asking, what's so everyday wonderful about the fear factor? Well, fear factors into both personal and collective spiritual empowerment. Without any fear, just about any form of individualized physical life would not be possible. You know, without a certain amount of fear, earthly life would just walk in front of a bus. So there are many metaphysical facets to emotions, which is our monthly theme. So I just want to highlight a few of those for you right now. And as I talk about emotions, I want you to think about emotions as these kind of streams that eventually carry you to a happier, more peaceful, more compassionate, and more loving life, that you circulate and connect on a deeper and more meaningful level. And you do this as an activity of living spirit. So first up is that emotions generally are effects of some other cause. And that cause is usually a feeling. It's sometimes a belief, a thought, a perception, an intuition, an idea. And emotions get your attention. And they get your attention probably more frequently than any other thing happening in your psyche or your spirit being, right? You might be unclear on your thoughts or beliefs or ideas or intuitions or feelings, but you are usually keenly aware of your emotions. You know, we ask each other all the time, hey, how you doing? And the answer is usually about an energy flowing in your physical body at that moment. You do a little scan, a little inventory, and that's how you respond. Now, those emotions, as Reverend Sunshine pointed out in last week's message, come in 6 general categories, and those are fear and anger, joy, sad, contempt, disgust, and surprise, right? Now, emotions are powerful body-related energy flows. Emotions are changes happening in your biochemistry. Now, if and as your body is changing, that means that the organizing principle that organized you is also changing. That also means that something about this human phase of your soul's journey is evolving. Emotions, even deep and profound emotions, come and go in waves. You know, extreme fear might trigger a freeze or fight or flight reaction. But being consciously aware of your emotions allows you to ride the waves of those emotions, and to do that with the most transformative and positive benefit. When emotions appear to be overwhelming, that's been the case at points in my life, that is a moment where I get help. So know that when those emotions start to get to be too much for you, something that you're not able to manage for any reason, for your highest and greatest good, that those healers, those caregivers of every type and every stripe stand ready to help you. And that is also part of your collective spiritual journey. And finally, emotions are transformative. They're essential to this human phase of your spiritual evolution. Emotions are a vital link in this multi-link chain of causation. So as you really immerse in the importance of emotions and really get the full measure of emotions, and as those emotions wash over you, you shift, your consciousness shift, you grow in some way. And what that does is allow for more evolved feelings, beliefs, thoughts, perceptions, intuitions, and ideas. That totality of your spiritual expansion, it allows for more of that. Now, I've mentioned this a few times before, but I'll mention it again because it's important, because the science of mind distinguishes between emotions and thoughts, as Reverend Sunshine pointed out, but it also distinguishes between emotions and feelings, right? So Reverend Sunshine challenged you to become more aware of emotions and your thoughts about emotions. And my challenge to you is to become more aware of your feelings that are the cause of or the precursor to your emotions. Now, fear, like Dr. Pepper, is so misunderstood. So here's a little big disclaimer. I'm not talking today about fear in a way that I want to eradicate it, nor am I talking about fear to intensify it, but I'm talking about fear to bring fear to a more conscious awareness. So it's my intention that you are more able to distinguish between reacting and responding, in general, but also reacting and responding to something like fear. Now, reacting is that kind of mindless, automatic, it's often a response that's disproportionate, meaning it's that sensory input that causes you to sort of go, that's reacting. On the other hand, responding is mindful, and a response is generally in proportion to the stimulus, the sensory input that you are taking in. And as you take more steps along your spiritual path, you tend to react less and respond more. Reacting being that mindlessness and responding being a mindfulness. Now, the science of mind calls a whole variety of inward sensations feelings. And these inward sensations are distinct from emotions. Emotions are the outer expression and experience of feelings. So feelings and how you choose to express your feelings exist on a kind of a continuum. And this continuum has three kind of aspects to it. There's a continuum of frequency, how often you are feeling and expressing feelings as emotions. The amplitude on that continuum, how strong is that feeling, and therefore how strong is that emotional flow. And phase, meaning when do these feelings occur, in what context or in what place. So there's a continuum of frequency and amplitude and phase that have to do with both your feelings, how often, how strong, when and where, and therefore the emotions that you choose to express out of those feelings, how often, how strong, and when and where. So like it or not, this human phase of your soul's journey is kind of blessed with this entire spectrum of both feelings and emotions. And fear happens to be one of those emotions. And we often talk at Vida Spiritual Learning Center that part of our purpose is to help you live your best life. And your best life means a life that is rich in thoughts and beliefs and feelings and intuitions and emotions. Your best life means finding a balance in all aspects of your life, including finding balance in feelings and emotions. The fears that I refer to today are more the fears that are kind of out of balance, that are unwarranted, that are disproportionate, that are unwanted in some way. And these are the kind of fears that tend to maybe hold you back in life, that keeps you from living your best life. And without any other context or information, it is common to fear fear, which needlessly amplifies fear. It creates kind of a fear feedback loop where the fear, whether it's directly associated with something or just free-floating fear, feeds on itself and grows and grows and grows. So sometimes these manifest as frequently occurring irrational fears or maybe phobias or paranoias. And the good news is that this kind of fear is something that can be healed. Now, in my spiritual journey, I've accepted that fear is one of the many power transformative feelings and emotions that are part of living my best life. And in that way, fear is a lot like love, because love is both a noun and a verb. Love describes something that is causative and is something that is emotional. And fear is the same thing. Fear can be something that is an inward sensation, and it can also be a flowing emotion. So it's kind of similar to the difference between feelings and emotions, where we've got a context of fear that is something that is inward, that you might have dominion over, you might have choice over, and it is something that is an emotion flowing in your body temple. Now, I'll give you a little history of my understanding of fear, and maybe this will be helpful for you, maybe not, but I'll give it a shot anyway. As many of you know, for about the first 30 years of my life, I was a card-carrying atheist. And feelings, especially negative feelings, were rarely expressed or even acknowledged. The natural and healthy expression of feelings as emotions were just cut off. They were stuffed down. And I can swear to this, that stuffing feelings and emotions is exhausting. It really, really is. And it's kind of a double whammy, because stuffing down those feelings, not allowing those emotions to flow, that meant that there was no growth emotionally, there was no growth spiritually. I was at that point a kind of stuck. And then I found the teachings of Marianne Williamson on cable access, and she was at that time teaching on A Course in Miracles. So I'll give you a little binary alert. I'm not a big fan of binaries, as you know, but binaries are kind of cool, and it was to me at this point in my life. Now, A Course in Miracles is what we would call an idealist philosophy or worldview, and it is rife with binaries. So as a lifelong atheist, binaries were kind of an easy way for me to grasp, or an easy introduction into those first steps on my spiritual awakening, my journey of awakening. So the primary binary in A Course in Miracles is fear and love. Love is all there is, and anything unlike love is an illusion. Therefore, fear is an illusion. And then fear is that prevailing mentality when one forgets that love is all there is. Fear arises when one feels separate from that universal, unconditional love. And in A Course in Miracles, that unconditional universal love is synonymous with God. Fear has many faces, and fear manifests as any thoughts or feelings or emotions that are apart from or unlike love. And then fear can become things that we call like hatred and bigotry, or feeling isolated or alone or separate, being filled with judgment, or being on the attack of yourself or attack of others. All different ways that fear can manifest, can play out. And as this A Course in Miracles concept kind of sank in, I noticed all the ways that fear was my prevailing mentality, right? Rather than anything positive or constructive or affirmative like love. I mean, even the love that I had in my life, or thought I had in my life at the time, was tinged with, if not completely distorted and contorted by this prevailing mentality of fear. You know, in The Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes says, fear is the antithesis of faith. Like faith, fear may be conscious or subjective. And it is to be eliminated, and if it is to be eliminated, it must be removed both consciously and subjectively. So Science of Mind has a similar binary to what we have of fear and love in A Course in Miracles. And the opposite of fear in Science of Mind is faith. Now, Ernest points out that fear is at times part of your conscious awareness. You know why you are in fear, right? And at times fear can be kind of this, free-flowing emotion of which you're not really aware of its cause. Ernest talks about managing these fears. He says in the quote, to be eliminated. And again, those are those type of fears that are unwarranted and unwanted and that sort of impede your life, but are not these life and death fears that save your life, right? Ernest is talking about managing those fears both consciously and subjectively. And the way that one works on that consciously and subjectively is the work that you do on your consciousness, and that that happens through a definite and consistent spiritual practice, right? So meditation on a daily basis, treatment or affirming or praying on a daily basis, doing some form of spiritual study or reading, journaling as a spiritual practice, visioning, asking what is the highest divine idea for my life, my day, my relationships, my work, and how does that feel? What is the feeling? What is the quality of that vision? And then on a weekly or monthly basis, participating in sacred service, seeing your spiritual counselor or practitioner, tithing or giving as a spiritual practice, and doing as you're doing now, joining together in the beloved community. So any and all of those things bring to conscious awareness any of that fear stuff that Ernest Holmes is referring to, in order for it to be processed, in order for it to be shifted or healed in some way. Now, the poet, the writer Nikita Gill wrote this. It says, "You have calcium in your bones, iron in your veins, carbon in your souls, and nitrogen in your brains. 93% stardust with souls made of flames. We are all just stars that have people names." I love that. And I often say, at your essence, you are pure spirit. Well, there's a couple of takes on that. And, the modern day new thought, quantum physics age explanation is that, there's God as an organizing principle. And you are sort of this simultaneous occurrence of that organizing principle that is particularizing as you. And it's particularizing, I can't say that word right now, it is making you out of seeming nothingness, right? And so what happens is this organizing principle collapses these particles that turn into atoms, that become molecules, that form compounds, that make cells, that organize into tissues, that form organs, that collectively work together as your human body. So at your essence is pure spirit, and that pure spirit is an organizing principle that organizes you the way you are right now. And that organizing principle is continually evolving. You are constantly being sort of disorganized and reorganized as the evolving you. Not so much new about this. The ageless wisdom part of this is that, you and I are evolving spirits through a human phase. And in this human phase, you appear to have this body, this gross body, as the Hindus would refer to it. And you have a spirit body, the Atman body, the spirit presence, and you have subtle bodies, these energy areas within the gross and that mediate and work within the gross and spirit bodies. And that spirit body is God. It is God living in and as you right now. And the subtle bodies are those sensations you feel, those things I call ideas or feelings or inklings or intuitions or emotions. So, idea is a sudden appearance of something new and different in your conscious awareness. Feelings are those inward sensations that are personal to you. We also call feelings God qualities. All right, so all those positive, good inward feelings, those are God that you feel, that you have a palpable connection and a participation in. And intuition are these inner guidance systems, something that pulls you toward or away from something. And it's not something that you consciously process, right? You just feel tugged in this direction or moved away in this other direction. And it's just a trust that this is for your highest and greatest good. And emotions that we've already talked about, these are these physical energies flowing in your body temple. And you have a degree of choice over those emotions. And those emotions also have guidance and intelligence and are directed by mind. And so ideas, feelings, or intuitions also might come in, might be described as emotions too. So the terminology kind of overlaps, but the way we know that those ideas, feelings, and intuitions are emotions is we feel that body chemistry, that biochemistry changing. And then hiding in plain sight are your beliefs, those patterns, those habits, those brain grooves you've adopted that drive your life in the absence of or even in opposition to those other subtle bodies of your being. And among the influences on your life are fear-based beliefs. So I'm guessing everybody here has maybe someone or some place or something that they have formed a fear-based belief around, right? A common one, some people have this fear of spiders, right? Some people have a fear of heights. Some people have a fear of certain people. So those fears are adopted and sort of grooved into your subconscious as a kind of belief. And the good news is, like any belief, it can be brought to your conscious awareness, and it can be brought to your conscious awareness for good reason, because that belief can be then assessed. It can be evaluated. If that belief wants or needs, it can be healed, it can be modified, it can be released, it can be replaced. And therefore that fear that you might have of spiders can be compassionately healed through spiritual practice. So the 20th century philosopher Jiddu Krishnamurti put it this way, which I feel is very good. It says, what is needed rather than running away or controlling or suppressing or any other resistance is understanding fear. And that means watch it, learn about it, come directly into contact with it. You are to learn about fear, not how to escape from it. And I share this affirmation with you. I face any fear with courage, clarity, and the full faith of God within. I face any fear with courage, clarity, and the full faith of God within. Well, thank you so much for joining us here today. You have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next time. Well, how's everybody feeling?
No fear.
No fear. Great. It's all fixed. We can move on. Just don't step in front of a bus. Well, we have a few minutes before we leave our live stream, so if anyone has any questions or comments, I just want to also remind folks here on Zoom that prayer is available with a practitioner immediately after we close out in Love We Stand. And if you want prayer with a practitioner, just let us know either through chat or just verbally, and we'll set you up in a breakout room with a one-on-one session with one of our practitioners, and they will know this spiritual truth for you. It's a powerful time, so I encourage folks to take advantage of it. And we are continuing our growth as Vida Spiritual Learning Center. We've been we're meeting and plotting and scheming, as I am like to say. And as Reverend Sunshine has put in the newsletter, when and as those happenings happen, we'll be letting you know. We are tentatively planning sort of a town hall. we had planned for it in May. I'm not sure we're going to be ready for a town hall in May. It might occur towards the end of May, but certainly in early June. We will meet with everybody, bring everybody in our community together, and through Zoom and in person if possible. We might be set up for that hybrid experience at the East Hellman Street address. And if you do have any questions for any of our leadership, feel free to reach out to me or Reverend Sunshine, and we will do our very best to answer any of those questions you have about the next steps for Vida Spiritual Learning Center. But we are working hard behind the scenes. There's a lot of plate spinning, and soon some of those plates will be able to put on the table, so to speak. All right. No questions, it looks like, at this moment. So as we love to close out in spiritual practice and prayer, and this is a prayer that we sing, and a prayer raised in song is a prayer prayed at least twice. So with that, I invite you to mute yourselves and sing out loud and strong.
This is our prayer, a song of peace. We get to be the change we want to see. With open hearts and open hands, we lift our voices, in love we stand. This is our prayer, a song of peace. We get to be the change we want to see. With open hearts and open hands, we lift our voices, in love we stand. This is our prayer, a song of peace. We get to be the change we want to see. With open hearts and open hands, we lift our voices, in love we stand. We lift our voices, in love we stand. We lift our voices, in love we stand.
Beautifully done. Let's bid our live streamers on Facebook and YouTube farewell. We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us today.